Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a watch that offers substantial complication and hand finish from a brand that's one of the best buys in pre-owned high horology. This is the Jaquet Droz Astrale Perpetual calendar, a 1 of 8 limited series 43mm in white gold featuring a retrograde perpetual calendar dial that includes white gold garnishing on top of a black onyx base. And on my 16cm circumference wrist, you can see that it is a substantial watch in spite of being essentially a dress timepiece. Now you can get a substantial complication, not just a perpetual calendar, but an elaborate one without paying Patek Philippe prices, and this is proof of that. JD is a watch brand you buy pre-owned because of the loss of value, but the substance of what you get is as good as anything in the industry. Now it's a big watch at 43, and although it's big, it's not necessarily thick, only 13mm thick. It will slide easily under a dress cuff, and that's a bit of a surprise given that it appears barrel-shaped in profile and a little bit like an inverse dome on the wrist. Lug-to-lug, 50.3mm, but again, consider the shape. Those lugs are designed to arc down and around the wrist rather than flaring out and fighting a smaller arm. I would still say 14.5cm, maybe 15 if your wrist is perhaps more round than flat. The lower limit for wearing this watch, 16cm circumference wrist, one more time just for reference. The spacing between the lugs is broad, as this is a modern watch. 22mm, a very broad modern planted stance that creates a handsome symmetry between the width of the case and the width of the strap and lug junction. Now the strap is an unusual piece because though it is alligator leather, and you can see it's rectangular scale, it's medium rectangular scale, which you don't see all the time. It's a matte finish, and then it's a bonded strap, so there's no evidence of stitching. It's a seamless appearance that appears almost exotic, as you rarely see it, even in the high-end watch segment. It is thick, however, with substantial amounts of leather used. The buckle is Jaquet Droz branded, and as you can see, it's white gold to match the case, hallmarked 18 karat, just like the case. And the case is powerful. Most of its power comes from its sheer mass. That's a lot of gold. And as you can see, there's a simple Jaquet Droz double star crown for winding, and then a number of pusher adjusters for setting the complication. The lugs are interesting though. As you can see, they have a concave inner face, which is a bit unexpected until you get close and you realize just how dished they are. They have a little bit of a mirror-like quality, a funhouse mirror that is, and you can see there's a very sharp break between the lugs and the case, showing a high degree of craft in the case construction. That's a difficult junction to achieve cleanly. The bezel appears seamless because it drops down to the flank of the case, so you see very little but its domed profile when viewing the watch from overhead. The dial features a by retrograde perpetual calendar, so let's work from the outside in. You can see there are a little white gold cabochon outboard, and they form what is effectively the hour track. There are hands, alpha style and blued, to trace the conventional hours and minutes. There's a dimple style minutes track outboard. You have constant seconds down at 6 o'clock. You have a leap year cycle indicator and the month up at 12 o'clock. Then you have retrograde scales, which are made of white gold and then engraved and lacquered for both the day of the week and the date. Retrograding, of course. Now the center dial features a sort of clou de Paris with recessed registers, and it's silvered and nicely executed. You can see there's a little bit of a serpentine form to the hands that indicate the calendar complications, so that's yet another wrinkle, pun intended. All the features that are applied, the date, the day scale, and the bezel surrounding the center dial are white gold and satin finished, and there are two blued screws fixing the center bezel to the dial. Of course, the base is a glossy, mirrored black onyx that is extraordinary to see, especially in strong light. Turn it all over, and what you basically have, you can see the twin mainspring barrels, is a very nicely executed Blancpain caliber. So this is from the same Frédéric Piguet manufacturer that produces movements for Blancpain, and you can see that it includes many of the hallmarks of a Blancpain 1150 movement. The twin mainspring barrels here supply a 28.8 beat rate and a 68-hour power reserve, solidly above average. Of course, there's the perpetual calendar function. The movement is adjusted in 5 positions, just as a chronometer is adjusted in 5 positions. It goes by the name caliber 58634, and it is a 38 joule auto that is gorgeous in its execution. You can see the guilloche cut, solid white gold winding mass, and then there's immaculate solid Cote de Genève perfectly aligned across the bridges, black polished screws with chamfered slots. You can also see the mirrored anglage on the edge of the rotor as well as the edge of the bridge. You can see that mirrored chamfering lighting up. There is engine turning on the base plate, and it's difficult to fault the movement in terms of finish, as it is carefully and considerately decorated with different parts, such as you could see the click, black polished as a fine finishing flourish. There's also satin finish on the wheels of the winding system. It's well designed with ceramic rotor bearings that center unlubricated, high efficiency, unidirectional winding, more efficient than bidirectional winding, and all of this 30 meters water resistant. So both a technically accomplished movement with an unusually long power reserve and a beautiful looking one. An unusual timepiece from an unusual brand offering great value, undisputable rarity with 8 pieces constructed, and many craft art flourishes front and back. You can see this Jaquet Droz Astrale Perpetual calendar, one of 8 made in white gold with black onyx dial, and make it yours on the Watchbox.